This is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Today I have a very special treat for you. It's one of these things that I get asked this question many times, more times than I could think of. Hey John, what do you do if your juicer is really stained? How do I get the stains out? Well, I pretty much take care of all my things, or at least my juicers anyway. So all my juicers are usually fairly clean, so I don't have the opportunity to show you how to get all the stains out, although I have mentioned it in other videos and other things like that. I'm going to have a specific video today about how to get the stains out of the juicer. Now, you know, carotenoids like the orange pigment in the carrots and, you know, the green chlorophyll and other colors in those deep, dark, rich vegetables that you've been juicing, you know, are really good for us to drink, but they're bad for the aesthetics of our juicer. Now, while the coloring or the, you know, won't necessarily affect the performance of your juicer, will kind of make it look cruddy and funky. So, I'm lucky enough today to have my friend's juicer. This is a Green Star juicer, and you know, let's just say that he's not the up and up on cleaning his juicers. And you know, a lot of people maybe aren't so up and up on cleaning their juicers. They might just scrub it off some water and call it a day. Well, you know, I pretty much do that, and then maybe once a week, at the end of the week, I'll put it in the dishwasher, then maybe like once a month or as needed, I'll do this technique that I'm doing now. And so let's go ahead and take some of these juicer parts and try to give you a close-up on it. So this is the pusher. You can kind of see there's like these brown stains, and then this stuff's caked on. I mean, the easiest way, you could scrub this stuff off and it'd take you a long time, but man, that's going to take a long time and going to be pretty difficult. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use this stuff here. Have the super huge box on the bottom, OxyClean. Now you can get the free and clear kind. The main thing we're looking is the active ingredient is the sodium percarbonate is what we're looking for. This kind actually has some like blue crystals that you don't really need. So you can get the free and clear OxyClean. And the cheapest place I found to buy this is actually at your warehouse club store. It comes in a big 15-pound box where it's going to run you about $1 per pound of the stuff. If you go to a local Target or Walmart, you know, you can pay up to $3 or more actually per pound. So we'll set that aside here. The other thing that I found actually at the local Walmart is actually Sun Oxygen Cleaner. Now this is sitting right on the shelf next to that OxyClean stuff, but this stuff is a lot less expensive. This is about $2 for 30 ounces. I'll show you the juicer and show you some of the ground-in stains, and you're going to be amazed when you see the results after we've done this. So here's some of the other pieces. Now, this piece here, this should be all white, and right now it's like a solid brown color. And especially you want to take off all the pieces, detach them so they're all loose when you're doing this technique. And this also should be really white, and it's really brown and getting kind of funky here, you know. And let's see, this also should be all white, and the screen, it has caked on stuff, and you know, some of the screen holes actually look to be clogged, so that's not necessarily a good thing. Oh my God, look at these gears. I haven't seen gears this bad in a long time. So here's the back of the gears. The gears are stainless steel, but you know, if you don't clean your stainless steel, they'll get stained, especially in this case. So these gears have been literally stained or have caked on juice particles on them. It's like a brownish tan color. Hopefully you could see that there in the video. And also on the end of the gears, it's a white nylon, and they're also stained as well. So there's the close-up on that. The main body housing is probably the housing that gets the worst stains. You could kind of look up in some of these passageways right there maybe and see how brown it is. I mean, this should be like a off-white, almond, or ivory-ish color, and this is really badly stained. So let's go ahead and show you the next step. So this is really easy. All you really need to do is soak all the juicer parts in a 5-gallon bucket or a big dish pan, or if you don't have any of those, just make sure your sink's nice and clean, and plug up your sink. So we have a sink stopper here. We're going to plug that sink up, and then you're just basically going to fill the sink with hot water. So we're going to pre-run the water first. It's nice and hot there. Put it over, and we're going to slowly fill this up. And as we fill this up, what we're going to do is we're going to take our Sun Oxygen Cleaner here, and 2 scoops of raisins, 2 scoops of Sun Oxygen Cleaner. here mixed in to the hot water going into the sink. And now you're going to want to make sure that your parts are completely submerged into the water. Here's all the parts sitting in the oxygen cleaner water, or the OxyClean water basically, and you can tell how it's working is that there's all these bubbles that are just bubbling up, and that's all the oxygen literally dislodging all the stains on the juicer parts. So here's all the parts in the sink, and you know, some of these parts weren't that dirty, like this top funnel piece wasn't that bad. Once again, this other top funnel piece wasn't that bad either. Let's see, oh yeah, this pusher thing, you can remember there are some nice stains, and you can kind of still see some stains here, but now look, literally with my finger, I'm just able to brush those off. So now what we're going to do is, and this does leave some kind of slimy coating on it, so now what we're going to do is, and look, all this stuff just rubs right off now, all that deep coloring. Remember these twin gears, they're literally caked on with this stuff that look like that. See if I can get a good lighting shot on there. Yeah, there's still some crap in there, but you can see, look, it just comes out in big flakes. There's a piece of it on my thumbnail. But yeah, we're going to take basically a brass brush to help us scrub out the rest. And these gears are going to be literally like new, nice and stainless color. No more will they be stained. I mean, these things are the worst, man. I couldn't imagine using my juicer like stained that badly. So hopefully my friend will watch this video and he'll now know how to clean his juicer, hopefully at least once a year doing it, and it's nowhere near going to be as hard as this because this is years and years of caked on stuff. I'm going to share with you what I did. So basically I soaked it for 48 hours, probably longer would have been better. Then I basically had to scrub the juicer. So the juicer does come with basically a nylon bristle brush, has fairly stiff bristles on that, and that worked pretty good, but then it wasn't even working good enough, so I recommend a regular nylon dish brush. It works pretty good. But then I even had to go further. So I went out and got basically, this is a detail brush set, a set of 3 sold at a dollar store or other places, and one of these brushes here is a nylon brush, so that's pretty good. And then after the nylon brush, we needed something harder to be more abrasive. And that's where this one came in. This is a brass bristle brush, so brass. And that's more stiff. And then finally, this is like a stainless brush. And this is even the stiffest of all. So the thing you want to do is you want to try to use the softest brush that you can to dislodge the things, and only use the hardest brush if you need to. So the order of preference, we want to try to use this first. If that doesn't work, then go to the harder one. Then go to the harder one yet, and then the hardest one. Now keep in mind, if you are doing the inside or clear plastic, these harder bristles that are not nylon will scratch your plastic. In this case here, we have the Green Star juicer, and on the inside, you're really not going to see the scratches so much. And so mainly I use this one on the gears themselves, which are stainless steel, and also on the screen. The inside of the screen had some really nasty, mineral deposit coatings. So let's go ahead and show you some of the parts, how they came out. Let's see, the most impressive part obviously was the gears. These gears now, they look, pretty much like new, except for some cracks that we determined in the gears. Nice and clean. Big difference from before, absolutely. And no, this is not a brand new juicer. I did clean this. You can see by the scratches and stuff on the back there. Let's see, oh yeah, this piece was pretty dirty there. That's also clean. The main body housing. Up underneath here was actually the hardest. There's some nice mineral deposits up underneath there that was caked on. That's also clean as well. The other part for me that was probably came the cleanest was this part here. This was really stained down underneath here. Actually, I used the brass brush to get this all clean in here, and then actually in some of these passageways. And I did spend a little bit of time on this to get it looking like new for my friend, and to make a video for you guys to show you that you can clean a juicer even if it hasn't been cleaned for 5 years. So if you get a used juicer from a yard sale, this is how you can clean it up to literally make it look like new. And the one thing I want to talk about is that, especially the screen, you need to make sure your screen is always clean. Because if you get buildup on these screens, and some of these holes on these screens are very small, and if there's buildup, guess what? Your yield's going to go down, and it's not going to work as well. So let's see. So this was the Green Star juicer, and you can pretty much wash any juicer like this same exact way, and it's probably going to be easier. And that's one of the things about the Green Star juicer is there's a lots of nooks and crannies inside this machine, and I'm not a big fan of this machine. Actually, I don't own one of these. So the nooks and crannies make it more difficult to clean. I prefer different styles of juicers are easier to clean. Be sure to check my other YouTube videos for demonstrations of all the different kinds of juicers, and my favorite juicer and easiest to clean takes me under 1.5 minutes. It's the Omega 8004, 8006, or 8003 and 8005. They're all basically the same model. Really easy to clean, and if you did want a twin gear juicer, instead of getting the Green Star like I'm using here, I'd highly recommend the Green Star Elite model. Not only is it easier to clean because they've redone a lot of the parts and they took out a lot of the nooks and crannies, it's also more efficient than this model as well. So that'll do it today. This is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.